pleasant good day, good evening, good night, whatever part of the world you may be at this time, fellow citizen of the world. Before I continue, I kindly ask you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell so you will get the next updated video as soon as we put it out. Well, let me deal with the entire world first. Africa, a great continent, once ruled by European, from tribal affairs to European, of many dimensional languages, and all were set free thanks to one great warrior who created a world war, even though it is wrong for what he have done not only to the Jews but to many others. Millions have lost their life. But out of the war came the freedom for the whole of Africa, the Caribbean, India, China, and elsewhere. As a little boy growing up, this is not everything bad. You must consider bad. Wait a little and look through the clouds when it clear, and you would see the horizon. I panic and wonder many times what these old fools were talking about. But I guess I have to apologize if they're still here when they are long gone. Out of the fire, out of the killing, many nations were set free. Africa, India, China, from the hands of colonial master. Like my black brothers and sisters in the African continent and the Caribbean and elsewhere, on to this day, still use the word white man. White man slavery. White man robbed the resources of Mother Africa. Friends, I kindly ask you to stop and think and look deeper into the horizon. For that same race you call white man was created by God Almighty, who shall I make man in my own image and likeness. We call color, and we say the black man, the white man, the Chinese man, the Indian man, the Bok man, or woman, or whatever, because we were lack of intelligence, ignorance to the fact that we didn't know better, our ancestors. Let's put it in a nutshell. If God made this world and all these things that happen, he could have stopped it. But the price to pay, paying slavery and blood. And if the Bible is true, then Abraham, our great-grandfather, had sex with his slave. Some of you say, if I'm a priest, why am I cursing? Identify for me what a curse. If I tell you F, S, P, Q, and R, is that a curse? Or if I wish you bad? Which is a curse? Educate me, you learned ladies and gentlemen. But today Africa is free. The last one was to fall was South Africa. Great leader like Nelson Mandela, name shall and will live forever. And I won't say much of Gandhi of India, because he called for peace amongst Hindus and Muslims, but was killed by a man named Naturam. And I wouldn't say much of Pakistan because of Jinnah with the division, and Nehru because of religion. But, excuse me, regardless of the consequences, today in the modern world, in the 21st century, for the black country of Africa, I want you to stop using the word white man and slavery. It all begins in mainland Africa when the world just begins. And if Adam and Eve is from the Garden of Eden, Muhammad is from African continent, Jesus from African continent, then we must ask ourselves, if they're all African descendant, you mean that nation really and truly, I have to say, praise God, the European entered the shore to change it and save our civilization, that today, even India, that today, many Africans out of Africa, living in Brazil, Caribbean, Fiji Island, and elsewhere, who are not doctors, are great teachers and preachers, philosophers, book writers, great musicians, drum players, guitar players, saxophone players, great athletics, kicking soccer, making millions and billions, playing basketball, doing the same, even in cricket. My friends, it was a prize for every race. Because the European, as the white man, was once a slave to his own. If any black historian can prove to me that there were more black race killing the white race that killed their own hundreds of millions, I will be your slave. But you have to prove it to me. Don't tell me what somebody write. Because 10% is truth and the rest is fiction. I call upon you here today to do what is right. What is the past must be the past, and we must not return it to the future. The division in man today is not color of skin or languages alone, but a thing called religion. I personally don't believe God make religion, because if a woman make 5 children and give each one of them a different religion, she is creating a war amongst them. And if Allah, Bhagwan, or God make all of us, and then allow Christianity, Buddhism, collectivism, and whatever ism, even communism, capitalism, imperialism, then we are in for a good fight, because we are all living in ism. And that is what causing us to suffer. My friends, this world is not about black and white. It is but unity and survivalism. So therefore, whether you are a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian, you worship one God. And all of you want to go to heaven, respectfully. But if you cannot treat your brothers and sisters fairly on this earth, will Bhagwan, Allah, or God, or Jesus make you in heaven? Think of it. We blame the devil. The devil make me do this. The devil make me do that. But we never praise the devil. For when we kill people and take their country, and then turn back and slave them, but we talk about white man slavery. Every bloody race was a slave sometime or the other. The Bible is full of slave stories. And it says again, if Abraham is my great-grandfather, when y'all meet Sarah, ask your wife to tell him, Abraham, since I can't bring forth a child for you, go to bed with your slave. You mean that slave didn't have a voice? And when Rome had no money, the emperor at those times give the soldiers, men and women as slaves, where some they had sex with both of them, man and woman, and put them in the plantation to farm. Until came Saul, who changed it with a lie. Jesus talked to a butcher. After say he blind him, he can give back Saul his sight if we bring Christianity into Rome. That is when your taxes begin. Give to God what is God, and give unto Caesar what is Caesar, they say. Jesus never said that. That was a diplomat by the name of Saul, who colludes with the government in power at the time, the emperors, to come about with that lies. Because Rome was losing soldiers and was deteriorating every day and was having fighting with the slaves that they had captured. And the player was in the arena, put them to fight lion and fight with gladiators. Today, we got one in Ghana, take a whole plane load of his entourage and went to see soccer play. Men kicking ball, while Africans are catching their ass, holding their balls to survive. Think of it. We got it in Guyana, Jamaica, the Caribbean. A little Caribbean island by the name of Dominica English. Once Eugenia Charles, the Prime Minister that led the invasion to Grenada to free it from communism with the help of the late Ronald Reagan. My friends, you East Indian in Guyana, you must not forget what happened in the 60s. But you must not return it to innocent people that didn't do you nothing. For the blacks who create that episode was brought in there by American help CIA, through Trinidad. And they were Highlanders. I will give you the name of those countries. And they were paid to do what they done, while Guyanese blacks were looting, burning building and loot where they could get a stove, a fridge, a jukebox. My neighbor Richard, he's dead and gone now, black brother. We grew up like brothers, uncle and auntie. When Bato was burning down, he collect a lot of shoes, over 5 rice bags full, and bring it in the village and drop it at an area and call out the whole villagers. Open the bag and you take what is there. People say, Richard, you been a loot. He said, better me bring it for you because you're not got. And they talk Creole language here. Because all would have burned up. So you must enjoy it. But I didn't loot. The building was burning. I risked my life to take it out before it burned. Why it must waste when my people can walk with it? Unfortunately, when they opened up the 5 big rice bag and emptied the shoes, they were all left side. It was a laugh, but his intention was good. But nevertheless, it was a joke in the village Bagaston. While in Agricola, MacDoom or Jonestown in Agricola, every time an election, the blacks would stop the vehicle with the Indians, rob them and beat them, and the police would do nothing. And 90-something% of the police force happens to be blacks. The army, the whole civil servants. So we must not hide these things. Indian had it hard with other race. I am not saying all you the black people do it now. I want to know where is Carving. Where's Asghar Ali? During the flood in the PPP, 23 year in power, when Barry Jack did take over, and it's alleged they open up the controversy and flood the place, so somebody now could have a car park in the black people graveyard, somewhere between Joshua going to Pleasance on your right hand side when you go on your left hand side. Coolie people will buy any graveyard to make something. These vultures. But nevertheless, they are good one amongst everyone. They are good black people, good Indians, brothers and sisters. That's why I congratulate all who marry into different race. Y'all are God-fearing, loving, and very devoted human beings. I ask of you to unite. We tried the PNC with Burnham. Was no good. He became the second richest black man in the world in the late 70s to 80s. Ebony magazine. We try Height. He hung a lot of black people I heard for kicking down doors, bandit. And India was happy. They lift him up on their shoulder like they were lifting Ram, Lakshmana, Hanuman, Krishna, and even the king of India, the emperor. But when that day of the election, they disappoint the man. Indians are one of the most ungrateful people on the face of the earth. I have your blood in me. Again, not all, but some Indians say, why you putting down the Indian them like that? Like I told you the story about the young shepherd where the tigers attack and kill the flock, when it should have been wolves or butchers. And he run back into the village and cry. What happened, John? They says, my flock was attacked by tigers. They were surprised. Tigers attacked your flock, not wolves? You sure? He said, yes. He described the animal. The whole village went looking for tigers. Some people had tigers as pets in their yard. They didn't kill that one. They were petting them. They didn't kill that. They were looking for the one what was destructive. So figure of speech could create more problem than the original problem. But friends, if you are black and you should get a chance to go to heaven and God is white, will you walk back out when the devil down below is an Indian or Chinese or even black like you on fire burning? Or if he was brown, you do the same? Vice versa for the white race. If God was black when you arrived to heaven and you hate black people, will you run it and go back into hell with fire, but in the heaven is milk and honey, as they say? I call upon you all on this Saturday, stop the nonsense. Forget the wrong teaching from the past, and let's unite and make this world a better place for humanity. Marry into any race. Stop this child mother and child father business. And I call upon Ali government in Guyana, as a Muslim to a Muslim, a believer to another believer, don't hold the Holy Quran and pray 6 times a day and turn away from what Allah has put into your hand. Open up the door to the Africans where Guyana begins. And India would make laws, all life matters. And nobody would have a religious conflict, or they shall return back home with their family. Guyana can hold 20 to 30 million people. Why are you denying other people the rights? But under the Burnham government, Guyanese Indian was rescued in Canada, Caribbean, Suriname, and elsewhere, even Venezuela, even blacks. And who fight against their own? The late Walter Rodney unite both race and was killed by both leaders, Jagan and Burnham. Let them charge me for that. Jagan and Burnham have to come there to question me, or be the one to file that action. Because I know things what y'all don't know. And for all who born in 1966 come forward, take it from me. You are not independent. The country was dependent. Africa is independent. India is independent. China is independent. Ruled by Africans of Africa, black people. Ruled in India by Indian people, brown people. And in China, we could say yellow people since I wanted that way. But what's amazing, we drove the European out of Africa and India, and even China. And today, the offspring of those who drove them out is getting killed, hustling to go there to live. I call upon the Ali government to distance yourself from Saudi Arabia. If that is the land of Prophet Muhammad, and a Muslim man and woman go there to Hajj, and she get a baby, she could get it by the Kaaba, they will never give him a birth certificate to her. Which heaven are those Arabs going to? They might colonize it. I tell you all again, wake up, my fellow brothers and sisters in Guyana. Every Guyanese deserves 2-acre land to 1.5 acres and 50,000 US to build a house. No ministers should have their hands to use to deny a man from building or to do anything what is right for the future of the nation. So today I want to tell you, I'm going to leave you with that great message. Yes, unite. No more PPPC, APNU, or PNC. It must be a national front government. Come on, Ali. Change your scope, move the square pegs out the wrong hole, and yet unite for a great country under the blue sky with God on our side, Allah and that one. Thank you. And I am your host, George Correa. Thank you.